Fox Business Alert, and with apologies to Richard Rogers, Oklahoma. June is about to bust out all over. But before it does, let's get one last look at the major indices before we close out the month of May. And it is a bouquet of flowers here. The Dow Jones Industrials gaining 4% over the past 30 days. S&P up 6.25%, and the NASDAQ up 9.7%. Who didn't partake in the May party? Well, the biggest laggards for the month on the S&P come from both healthcare and pharma. Health insurance firm United Healthcare Group fell 26.8%. Rough month for UNH. Pharmaceutical giant Regeneron down 17.5%, and drug maker Eli Lilly also down 17.5%. Our countdown closer is watching two areas, insurance and energy. Let us speak with him right now. Joining me with $1 billion in assets under management is Landsberg Bennett Private Wealth Management CIO Michael Landsberg. Michael, just to the laggards here, you are a guy who loves to buy low and sell high. Despite the lackluster performance of those names we just showed you, do you like any of them? Is that the way you operate at all? Because we've got an investor audience that wants to know the tricks of the trade.
It's tough, Liz. Some of the stocks that you saw that were down for good reasons. Obviously, UNH has got some significant problems. Regeneron missed on a trial. So those are probably ones I'm going to stay away from. I like you to kind of prove yourself. I think when you're investing, you can invest for the longer term. You don't need to try to buy the kind of the bottom. You can wait for it to kind of move higher and kind of take your picks there as they've kind of shown themselves.
Yeah, it is tough to catch the very bottom of a market and certainly sell at the very top. But let's talk about first your insurance pick. And we just talked about how rough UNH had a time for May. But listen, those were specific issues. Which one do you like?
We like Chubb. Part of the reason we're big fans of Europe. We think Europe's in a better spot. Chubb sells all over the world, 120 different countries, but they also have premium clients. They're not selling to mom and pop. They're selling to lots of times multinationals, very high net worth individuals. So we think this business continues to do well. I typically don't like to bet against insurance. They usually find a way to make money, and Chubb has done a very good job of that.
Well, I'll tell you, I hear bad things about a lot of insurance companies. I hear great things about Chubb. People who have Chubb say that my insurance company didn't give me any difficulty when it came to actually coming back and saying, I know I've paid my premiums all this years. Could you help me now? So, all right, I get that one. You think there's a longer run there. What about the energy sector?
The energy sector, we like, in the utility space, we like NextEra Energy. So that's basically the regulated business of Florida Power and Light in Florida. So you get a little bit of a kicker as you get some of this nuclear, wind, and solar kind of stuff. But also, you've got a state where everybody moves. I mean, basically, Florida's been in the top 1 or 2 states the last 5 years. There's a phenomenon in half the country for 6 months of the year called winter. It snows, it's cold, it's nasty. Everybody wants to move to Florida. And so we like that play. It gives us also an in to some of those nuclear and some of those other spaces that are more volatile with a very consistent, predictable revenue based on a regulated utility.
What are you looking toward when it comes to June? We were just speaking with Dan Niles. Of course, he's a hedge fund guy. He's got a big basket of shorts that he has at the moment. He likes cash. He's waiting for a bigger sell-off. June, who knows what's going to happen here, but what do you expect investors should be looking for?
Liz, we're big believers in earnings. I think what's happened in the last quarter, everybody forgot about earnings and started talking about tariffs. I mean, kind of the air had been sucked out of the room by the tariff talk. People didn't notice that NASDAQ earnings were up 23% year over year. S&P up 12% year over year. So we think they're going to continue to do well. Maybe not quite as well, but I think you got to look through the tariffs and say, you know what, who's delivering earnings? Who can continue to do that over time? I think you don't want to be on the sidelines. At the same time, everyone piles into the same trades in the United States. I think you can lower your exposure. We're underweight Mag 7. We've got exposure other places because that's where the value is.
Well, I'll tell you, Michael, it's very important to hear voices like yours.